Right, I think I'm live now. So, Kate Floss, talking to the people of New Zealand, people of Australia, people of Canada, and the people of England too. I'm talking to all the people, and we're letting everybody know that you are following the wrong laws. And what we want to get everybody doing is following the right laws. The laws, our ancient rights, our ancient liberties. We want to go back to those. So, right, just a minute and I'll get this started. Hang on. Right, there you go. I've got it. All right, I see. Right, I can see your comments. Right, I can see all my friends there. Oh, that just gives me such confidence just to know that somebody's watching, and I can see your comments too. So that just gives me a lot of confidence and makes me feel happy. So it seems to be cutting out just a wee bit there. I think it'll come back in a minute. All right. So, wait, so it's a bit slow. Oh dear. Right, wait for a minute. I don't know if it's coming up or not. The broadcast is waiting for the signal. Go into there. Ah, no. Right, it's still going. Oh dear. Is it going? No, it's not. I have to start again. Right, I'm going to go out and I'm going to come back again. I can't see it there. It's working or not. Oh, I hate this. I don't know if anyone can see me or not. Can you see me? Oh, okay, you can. All right, you can see me. If you can see me, say hi, I can see you. That would help me a lot. If somebody said hi, I can see you, Kate Floss. All right, I'm just going to do it. All right, so today we're going to have the video, and we're talking about, of course, we're going to be talking about Sue Gray. And we're also talking about Her Majesty the Queen. It's like we're going to be doing Sue Gray versus Her Majesty the Queen. Now, Sue Gray is touting the 1990 Bill of Rights, and Her Majesty has got the 1688 Bill of Rights. Now, I have had a note from, allegedly from Sue Gray, but I'm not sure. But I have had this note that has said something from her. But before we do that, what we're going to be looking at today is the usurping of power by Jacinda Ardern and all the Arderns. We've got Ross Ardern, Ian Ardern, all of those are in Tokelau in Samoa. There's a whole group of them, and Russell M. Nelson, the leader of the Latter-day Saint Church. And there they are with the Mormon, the Book of Mormon in the New Zealand Parliament. So we're going up against them, and we're going to be using Her Majesty. And it seems that Sue Gray is using the 1990 Bill of Rights. Now, I just want to say that we always fly our New Zealand flag, and under the New Zealand flag, that means this here, up here, is called the canton, and that means that Her Majesty is in charge, okay? And then we fly our 5-point white outline flag of the independence of New Zealand by the native chiefs and the paramount chiefs. They declared their independence, and the king gave them a flag. And this is the flag that the king gave to them, not that other one that was really devious. No, that's another story. You know about that. Okay, now we know that we're following the Holy Bible, the King James Bible, and we know that the 1688 comes from the King James Bible, okay? And then, so we ask for their protections. We ask for the protections of the King James Bible, and we ask for the protections of Her Majesty under the 1688 Bill of Rights while we make this video today. We also are asking for the protections of our Maori chief Tamati Pukitutu, and then he signed the 1840 treaty with New Zealand. And in the third article is key, because we're different from Australia, Canada, and even different from England, because when they signed that, the third article said that they would be subjects under the Majesty, directly under the Majesty's care. Nobody's got that. The American Indians don't have it. The Canadians, First Nations don't have it. The Australian Aboriginals don't have it. But the New Zealand Maori are very special. Even all the islanders don't have it. Even the Hawaiians don't have it. The New Zealand Maori are very special because they directly signed to be subjects of the Majesty in 1840 in the third article of the treaty, and that's why they are so very, very special to the protection of the world. Why do you think the United Nations is so interested in the New Zealand Maori? Because they've got a direct covenant with the Queen Victoria to the 1688 Bill of Rights, and they hold our liberties and our rights in their hands. Yes, the New Zealand Maori. You have no idea how important these people are to stop the New World Order. You really got to be looking at New Zealand and our New Zealand Maori, because they are the ones that hold the key to saving our 1688 Bill of Rights. So I'm saying to you, save New Zealand, save the New Zealand Maori, and save the Treaty of Waitangi third article that makes them subjects of the Majesty. We ask for the protections of the Majesty, the Queen, under our rights that we are proclaiming and asserting. We proclaim and assert our indubitable rights under the 1688 Bill of Rights, every single one of them. Okay? Now, let's get to Sue Gray. All right? So today, so that's all them out the way. We've done that. Okay. Right. So today, what we're going to be looking at, you should have a copy of your 1688 Bill of Rights in your hand. So you really got to print it. You won't know what I'm talking about if you don't print it. And what we're going to talk about today is that one of the things that you keep seeing all these programs saying, freedom, freedom, freedom. What does freedom mean? Understanding the 1688 Bill of Rights said that the kings and the popes and the parliamentarians would no longer have a free dome. They would no longer be free. And so they were put in chains by the 1688. And the 1688 Bill of Rights doesn't use the word free dome at all. And it doesn't use the word man's rights at all. And there's a reason for that, because what does freedom mean? Freedom means that they want a free place where they can do all of their things that they want to do without restriction. Now, for our Protestants to have, sorry to the Muslims, but to have Islamists and Zionists and an absolute papal rule ruling over us. We face decapitation, torture, loss of our freedom of speech, loss of our right to hold. All of those have gone under a free dome of human's rights. So we don't want to use this word free dome anymore. We're going to use the word liberties. Liberties, our rights and liberties. We're not going to be using human rights and freedom over us Protestants. Going to get that out for a start. Now, there's another one here that they've got the 1990 New Zealand Bill of Rights. Section 19 binds to thousands of United Nations laws. United Nations laws. Make sure I've got that there. And but anyway, is that right there? Okay. Anyway, is saying, I'm hearing a lot of people saying that the current laws, the 1990 Bill of Rights and other laws, override the 1688, and that the Bill of the Health Act, this is where I'm talking to you, the Health Act can override any law. And so this is a little bit boring today because this is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, Sue Gray, that I have it not on complete authority, but I have it from Sue Gray, that this is what apparently, so I'm not saying that she did say it because I didn't get it directly from the horse's mouth, but I was told, and it's in inverted speech commas, so I'm told that she said this. I'm going to read this law that says here, no dispensing of power. This is what it said, that the pretended power of suspending laws or the execution of laws with by regal authority without consent of Parliament is illegal. Now, this is where the politicians are quite wrong in their assumptions. They're saying, well, you voted us in, so therefore that is consent of Parliament, and therefore we can make any laws that we want to make. But no, when we voted them in based on the laws that were available at the time. And then if they go into Parliament and they start changing all the laws that you voted them in on, then that is not having consent of Parliament by the people, in my opinion. So all the laws that they're currently making now do not have your consent, and so they have consent to sit there and protect your laws. That's what they're there for, to protect your laws, not to take them away from you. And this is what they're doing. So Sue Gray apparently said, this is how she says it, sometimes it's useful looking at history, the Bill of Rights of 1688, and she's changed the wording a bit. She says the late dispensing is illegal, that the pretended power of dispensing with laws. So she says the pretended power of dispensing with laws, but that means that they're making laws or the execution of laws using regal authority, meaning that they're using unlimited power of regal authority, as it has been assumed and exercised of late is illegal. So Sue Gray is saying that this changing of the laws every 5 minutes by arbitrary power is actually illegal. And I accept her opinion. It's not even an opinion, it's a fact, because that is the law. They're not allowed to change. Now I'm going to express to you why. And today we're going to be looking at a very difficult law that is quite hard to understand. And I want you to go to the back of your Bill of Rights, which is here. And this here says, non-obstinance made void. and be it further declared and enacted by the authority aforesaid, that from and after this present session of Parliament, no dispensation by non-obstant of or to any statute or any part thereof shall be allowed, but that the same shall be held void and of no effect, except a dispensation to be allowed of in such statute, and except in such cases as shall be specially provided for by one or more bill or bills to be passed during this present session of Parliament. So this is a very complicated piece to understand. And the first thing that you need to understand is, what does non-obstant mean? Non-obstant means it gives the Queen or even the Crown, it gives the Crown a license to do a thing which does not follow laws to the contrary. So I'll just repeat that. It gives the elected Parliament or even the Queen to make a law that is contrary to your current laws. And this comes under the Health Act, where they're saying, okay, there's this danger that we perceive of this flu that you're going to get, and we've decided that you'll need to have these injections to protect yourself from this flu. And they've decided to override your liberties, the forfeiture of person, which means that you can go about walking about freely. That is being overridden. They have decided to override the cruel and unusual punishment by injecting you. They have decided to override your right to free speech. And so this is called an obstant law, where Parliament sits and decides to make a law that is contrary to other laws if they have to, in order to keep you safe, okay? And this can be used, and they are using it. They are using this obstant law. But however, in the 1688 bill, it says that in regards to this particular bill here, not the 1990 Bill of Wrongs, in regards to this particular bill, obstants are void and they can't use them. So they're not allowed to make any laws at any time ever that overrides what your rights are in here. Your rights in here are only around 15 rights. There really aren't many. So you're not going to get a right to a house. You're not going to get a right to a job. You're not going to get a right to any of it, because they only follow the natural law. And under the natural law, when you're born, you have to fight to get the things that you want. Under the natural law, that's part of life. You're born with nothing. You fight to get something, and then you die with nothing. And that is the natural law. But the human's rights are full of religious laws and indigenous laws and refugee laws and homosexual laws, all of these laws. But in God's law, in natural law, every single animal or person or people is equal in the eyes of God. Even queens and kings and popes are all equal in the eyes of God. So nobody gets something that the other one doesn't get. And everybody, but the rule is everybody has to fight for the things that they get. So this is natural law. So you don't get many rights. Actually, you only get about, I think there's about 15. But so the non-obstant law, so today it's going to be a short video from Kate Floss. Okay, so today what we're looking at, it's been 19 minutes, so we're going to stop in a minute. So today we're looking at the no dispensing of power by regal authority without consent of Parliament. So that is illegal. So changing the laws every 5 minutes, that the court makes a ruling in Adern, sits high on the tree of Latter-day Saint Church. Yes. Okay, and I'm going to just talk about that in a minute too. So that is a very good point there. All right. And how can we help? The way that we can help is to distribute. Okay, I'll just say this, finish off this, and then I'm going to answer some people, some things here. So today we're looking at, do they have the right to change the laws every 5 minutes in Parliament just because of the Health Act or the United Nations Acts or any other acts? And the answer is no, they don't. And there are two protections for that. The first one is that it's illegal to change laws arbitrarily. That's arbitrary power. That's illegal. And secondly, it comes under the non-obstant law, where they're allowed to make new laws that are contrary to the current laws that you have. Yes, they're allowed to do that, but no, they're not allowed to do that in regards to your 1688 Bill of Rights. And I just want to say that in the 1688 Bill of Rights, who man is not mentioned even one time. It uses people and subjects. And I'll tell you another thing as well. The word freedom is only used in 2 places. So there's no freedom of religion, because it's for Protestants, to protect them against Islamists, Zionists, and papal rule. That's why. So that includes all atheists, pagans, anyone that have alternative religions that are not involved with that. They all come under this Protestant place. So that's where you all said, if you're into your common law and you don't want to follow any of their religious laws, this is the place where you want to be. Okay, and it only uses freedom in 2 places. The first place where you have a free dome is elections, that you are all free to go. Everybody's free to go. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, pink, purple, fat, tall, homo, whatever you want to be. Any of those things. Even you can be Jewish, you can be Muslim, you can be whatever. Everyone, there is a freedom of elections for everyone. That's one thing that you get. Secondly, there is a freedom of speech. Now, under Islamic law, Zionist law, papal law, you're not allowed to speak against the church. You're not even allowed to speak against God. You're not allowed to speak against many things. But in the 1688 Bill of Rights, freedom, anybody can speak anything that they freaking want to. You can say what you like, because it's against nature to shut down your speaking. You can't follow that law. It's a law that you can't follow due to, it would be against nature to stop yourself. Oh, it's gone on freeze. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it would be against nature to stop yourself from speaking. So it's impossible for you to follow that. So, and then the second, so that was just that. And then also that you want to go to, you have your forfeiture of persons. Forfeiture of persons is illegal, which means stopping you from going about your liberties, walking about, doing your want. That comes under forfeiture of persons. So they're breaking that law. They're breaking the law of changing all the laws arbitrarily. They're breaking that law. They're breaking the law of your free speech. They're breaking that law. And they're breaking the law of, what was the other one that you have? Your right to carry a weapon and things like that. But anyway, the biggest law that they're breaking is the non-obstant law, because that one says that you can't make any laws that are contrary to this. Now, some people have asked me, what can we do? So one of my friends, I don't mention names on the videos, because if someone gets angry with me about mentioning their name, I have to delete the whole video. So I don't mention names. But one of my friends has said, how can we help? How can we help? What we want to do is we want to get people to start using the 1688 Bill of Rights and throw out that 1990 piece of trash that you've got there. That's the Trojan horse of the United Nations coming into New Zealand. We want people to get that out. And then that Trojan horse is tied to Te Reti. Te Reti o Waitangi has removed the third article, and it is the third article that makes New Zealand Maori so special to blocking the entire world order. Nobody's going to believe me how important the New Zealand Maori are to the world at this point in time. Nobody's even going to believe me. But I'm telling you, it's biblical. They are the biblical people. They are the gatekeepers. They are the gatekeepers to stop the New World Order from transforming into an absolute rule over the entire world. The New Zealand Maori, if they take out that treaty with that third article, it's the end for us all. So why is the United Nations so focused on New Zealand Maori when there's only like 300,000 or 400,000 of them? Why aren't they focused on the millions of Aboriginals in Australia? Why aren't they focused on the hundreds of thousands of American Indians? Why aren't they focused on the hundreds of thousands of First Nation peoples in Canada? I'll tell you why. Because none of them have got the third article of the treaty, which makes them subjects, and it makes them the gatekeepers of our 1688 Bill of Rights. They're the gatekeepers. I'm telling you, these people are got to be, I'll have to get them out. Where is my friend here? These people here are the most important people to the entire world, and they are the gatekeepers of this for us. And as soon as that treaty is gone, they're going to get on this. See, they can't get to this as long as the treaty stands. As long as that treaty stands, they can't take this out of America. It's in American law, it's in Canadian law, it's in Australian law, it's in New Zealand law, it's in English law. They can't get rid of this until they get rid of the New Zealand Maori and their Treaty of Waitangi third article. So how can you help? We want everybody to be printing the Treaty of Waitangi original with the third article intact. We want everybody to print the 1688 Bill of Rights and learn it like you know no other. And then I've got another one here, is from another friend that says, and now this is true, getting back to the Aderns. We've got 2 more minutes. Getting back to the Aderns. What does she say? I need that. She says, Ian Adern sits high on the tree of the Latter-day Saint Church. He's over there ruling Samoa. The Samoan king is in New Zealand Parliament, and Ian Adern, the descendant of English kings, he is in Samoa, watching what's going on over there. And then we've got Ross Adern, who's heading up Tokelau. Now, do you think that it's healthy to have, no, so here's Ross Adern is the High Commissioner. Over here would be better. Ross Adern is the High Commissioner of Tokelau and Solomon Islands. And they are educated, all of those countries are educated heavily in the Latter-day Saint Church into the Pacific Island children, is what they're doing. And they've been doing this for decades. So they've been in, Latter-day Saint Church has infiltrated the Pacific Islands for decades upon decades and brainwashed all of their people and brainwashed all of their children, is what they've done. And now they've brought them all to New Zealand, and they're after New Zealand. They're now trying to infiltrate all religions in New Zealand to flush out and replace everybody with the Latter-day Saints. When she faked her win in the elections in September of 2020, she replaced the King James Bible in our Parliament with the Latter-day Saints Book of Mormon and refuse the prayer in Parliament. And why don't they want to say the prayer? The prayer binds them to, of course, I always say, your Bill of Rights here. And what does this do? This puts chains on all of them. 400 years ago, actually, you might not know this, Catholics, Muslims and Jews, you might not know this, but the kings, the Catholics and the Zionists, they all got together and they realized that if any one of them had power, it would be the end of mankind's life, of having a good life under God. So they all got together and they put chains on, on all future religions forevermore. And the chains are in here, and the obstinate law says that they can never, ever, ever change this or make any laws that are against it. And that's why they want rid of it, because the who man's rights are against every single one of these rights. They say you can have speech, but with restriction. They don't say you can have a weapon, so you just can't have one. But they can have weapons, and you can't. They don't say you can have, there's many things are gone. So that is exactly right. We've got to get God back into Parliament. We've got to get our Bible back into Parliament, and we've got to get all of these religious fanatics out of Parliament is what we've got to do. So has anyone else got any more comments? We help each other to share the truth and show all the bullshit, that has gone on. So we're going to stop all the the madness, okay? So we're on this. The next one that we're going to do is the foreigners in our Parliament and how that is against our 1688 Bill of Rights. Now, I've done it before, but we're going to do a new one because we've all got a new understanding. And see you later. I'm not singing today. Maybe next time.